Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome to my channel today, and it gives me great joy to observe you are viewing this video. I'm Dr. Olayinka Akanle. I'm a researcher. I'm a lecturer in the university. On this channel, I do a number of stuffs, but all the stuffs I do, you can easily cluster them into four: sociology, research, relationship, and migration. And all my videos on this channel, I've grouped them into playlists. You have a playlist on sociology, playlist on research, playlist on relationship, playlist on migration. So this video is within my research videos. Meanwhile, are you subscribed to this channel? If not, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and tap the subscribe button on your screen. Click the subscribe button on your screen. And if you have subscribed to the channel, thank you very much for staying tuned. Kindly share this video as widely as possible. The title of this video today is Narrative Analysis. This video is to assist people to understand the basic elements and the applications, advanced level of narrative analysis. Narrative analysis is a component of qualitative data analysis. I've done video on qualitative data analysis, and I've done videos on qualitative methods of data collection. So once data is collected, then the data must be analyzed. And I've done a video on content analysis and thematic analysis. So this one is the third one in qualitative analysis, which is narrative analysis. What is narrative analysis? It's a method of data analysis within qualitative research, which is to understand the lived experiences, the worldview of people, perspectives of people, through or of research participants, through stories that they tell, through the stories they have constructed. So in narrative analysis, you want to understand the lived experiences. You want to understand the issue that you are interested in. But you are zeroing in, you are adopting the stories that people in that society, in that culture, have created over time, have constructed over time. The stories they tell. It's commonly said that the stories are here is what I live by today. It's common. So the stories actually clearly depict the experiences of people. So the stories that people tell in that society, the stories they have constructed, clearly narrate their perspective. And in narrative analysis, researchers want to construct narratives, want to construct stories out of the stories that people tell. So it's double layered, it's two layered, it's dual layered narration. Wow. Or don't you know that report writing, thesis, dissertation, or reports are about storytelling? I've written reports for organizations in the past, and they have told me sincerely that, Dr. Akanle, I enjoy reading the report you have submitted to us. It's as if I was reading a story and everything was connected, that we could see the whole lessons of the research. So even after paying me for doing the work, they still commend me. So whether you like it or not, research is like storytelling. And that's why reports must be written, thesis must be written in interconnected ways, whether from the title even to the recommendation. There must be connection. So thesis or reports are like a story with different lines with plots. So in narrative analysis, it's like constructing narratives from the narratives or from the stories that research participants have constructed within their culture. So it's in terms of their story. So it's like narrating. Narratives is narrating, analyzing the narrative of the research participants. And this is very important because we believe that people tell stories in detailed manner to represent their lived experiences. So stories are detailed. They give complete accounts of happenings, of occurrences that we are interested in. So narrative analysis assists us to narrate through the stories that the people we are researching have told us during the research or even previously. Can be from the plays they have written, can be from the tales they have told, can be from the documentary they have given, can be from the archival records that they have kept. So that is why there are two major sources of data for narrative analysis. You can have primary source, primary data collected, and you can have secondary source, secondary data collected. And you can still narrate, you can still engage in narrative analysis through these methods. So in primary data, even on this video, I've covered the major methods of data collection in qualitative research. I've done videos on in-depth interview. I've done video on key informant interview. I've done video on observation. I've done video on live history. I've done video on case studies. All the major methods of data collection in qualitative research, I've dropped video on them. View them here. So those are the primary data collection method. And you can also rely on secondary data for narrative analysis. Secondary data are the data that you did not collect yourself. Can be from journals, from books, from archive, even from online sources now, from data banks of other people. So, and you can begin to analyze this in narrative manner, constructing narratives from the stories, the worldviews, lived experiences of the people that you are researching into. So it's also important to mention that I've dropped video on content analysis and thematic analysis previously. So this is the third video I'm dropping on qualitative data analysis. And this narrative analysis is an higher level of data analysis. I did mention the fact that content analysis is very basic, just identifying. Then thematic analysis is a little bit more advanced by looking at the patterns in thematic forms. So this is narrative analysis, which is the higher level of analysis. And how do you do narrative analysis? You have to pay attention to the details in the stories, in the narratives, in the constructions of the people, within their contextual environment. You can understand the social environment, the psychological environment, and even the systemic environment, the institutional environment of the issue through the stories that people tell. And now the first thing you do is to identify this data, collect the data, whether from secondary sources or primary sources, and you have to group the issues of interest, the themes you are interested in from the story. Stories can just be on and on and on in a bit that may look without a pattern. So we have to create, patterns from the events, like codes. We create stored themes. As you are listening to the stories, you must be able to create themes from them in relation to your objective or your research questions. Your research questions must inform the kind of themes, the type of codes you're going to develop, and you create storied themes. Storied themes from the stories in a way. Then you structure your codes according to the themes in the stories. So you have to develop what we call structured code, so that you don't get lost in the story. You can get lost in the story, whether you are enjoying it or you are bored by the story, so you just get lost. But once you have created codes, structured, storied codes across the story, so you are guided on what you are looking for within the premise of your own research question and objective. Then you begin to narrate, even in a storied way. According to your objectives and research question, you continue to interpret these storied themes in a way that is coherent. I've examined a lot of dissertation reports. They said they use narrative analysis, and you can't find any pattern. You can't find any structure. You just keep telling stories as if they are regurgitating the stories or the issues like worldview constructions that have been told on the fields. So you have to create what we call structured code across the stories. Create storied themes across the story so that you can make sense of it in a logical way. So what are the advantages of narrative analysis? It tends to be original, it tends to be contextual. It talks to the context of the issue, the environment, the institutional environment is very important. Then it's original, it's based on what you have been told, the stories of the people. You are not imposing any stories on them. You are only making sense of their stories. Then ethnographic, it gives you the totality of the worldview of the people. But in terms of disadvantages, it tends to be very technical. If you are not so mature advance in qualitative data analysis, it may be very difficult. It's a technical level, unlike content analysis or even thematic analysis. Can be very technical, can be very tedious, and time consuming. Sometimes it can be subjective because of interpreting and narrating another person's or another people's stories. But in all, I think narrative analysis is very interesting and is highly recommended if well handled, because it will give you total, comprehensive, original, contextual data that capture the real world view of the people based on the stories they have constructed and told by themselves. Wow, interesting. Till I see you in my next video, kindly subscribe to this channel. In my next video, I'll be talking about discourse analysis as another method of qualitative data analysis. Stay tuned and share the video as widely as possible. Bye for now.